That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, with Inside Out 2, like doing all the damage that it's doing at the box office, you would have been forgiven if you maybe forgot that another big animated franchise was coming out with its next installment with Despicable Me 4 that came out. A movie that Ray didn't love, and the critics didn't love as much as maybe some of the other ones, but it does have an A cinema score. And get this, with $100 million budget, this movie in its first 5 days domestically had a $122 million opening long weekend. And in its first 5 days made $230 million worldwide on a $100 million budget. This comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter, who wrote the following. In terms of the 3-day weekend, Despicable Me 4's gross of $75 million, remember, that's just the 3-day, not the overall long weekend, marks the highest July 4th opener since Illumination's Minions: The Rise of Gru collected $107 million in 2022, and the third best all-time July 4th weekend behind Gru and the $83 million earned by Despicable Me 2 over the holiday weekend in July. So the Despicable Me franchise basically owns the July 4th weekend. And again, I want to put this in perspective. While movies like A Quiet Place made another $21 million this past weekend, and while Inside Out 2 made another $30 million this weekend, Despicable Me still managed to make worldwide $230 million in its first 5 days. More than doubling its production budget. So this thing is going to be profitable in the next couple of days. It's going to cross that boundary, like after you count production, marketing, theatrical cut, all that kind of stuff. It's still going to be profitable in its first week of release, which is crazy. Which, in the grander scope of things, that means lately we've had, talking about box office success, Bad Boys Ride or Die. We had the great opening and now continuing running of Quiet Place Day 1. Obviously, Inside Out. Despicable Me 4 is now on that list. And a couple of others that have performed really, really well, which is going to further that conversation that people have been asking. I did an open mic yesterday, Chris, and sure enough, somebody asked, okay, with this movie and this movie and this movie and this movie all doing really good, is the box office back? And what I said to that, and I'd be curious to know what you think. I said, I think we as film fans have we are overly influenced by recency. So I said, like, Furiosa and Fall Guy did badly. And everybody's like, the movies are dead. The box office is dead after, a short period of time. In the same way, I don't want to jump up and down and yell, the box office is back after a few big hits. Yeah. But I mean, we've got Deadpool and Wolverine coming up in a couple of weeks. We got Joker. We got Mufasa. We got Moana 2. We've got a lot of things lined up. But anyway, what do you think about the results of Despicable Me? And what does it say to you in terms of the bigger picture about the state of the box office right now?
Oh, man. First of all, when Moana 2 comes out, I'm going to be living in that movie theater. Yeah, Logan loves that movie so much. Jeez.
I feel like I should take Logan on a date to that movie because he and I can just fangirl over
the whole time. He's going to be like, is she going to make it? It's so cute. He suspends his disbelief so beautifully. It's so amazing. And I'm horrible. And I'm like, I think that person is the murderer the first 5 minutes. Not in Moana. There's no murderers in Moana.
Or
are there?
Boom. The Despicable Me box office. I mean, again, I think this goes to show that people want to get their kids into movie theaters.
Yeah.
Because this is one that the Despicable Me franchise, the Minions franchise, this is where we see animation that is definitely more geared towards children that adults can definitely have a fun time with as well. Is this the technically 5th installment because of the Minions movies?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Well, this would be Despicable 1, 2, 3, and 4, Minions and Minions: The Rise of Gru.
Okay, thank you. I forgot about Tiny Gru, and we even saw that
That's a really good movie.
That one's
Rise
cute.
of Gru is really nice.
But I think they're fun, funny, slapsticky movies that are still clever. There's still some really interesting stuff that happens with them. I think also we got to remember, in the heat of summer, people just also want to be inside with AC for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because we usually do see a nice little tick up at least for that to happen. as far as the box office coming back, I feel like we have bigger fish to fry here because we've seen so many quality movies like you brought up, like Fall Guy, like Furiosa, that didn't do great at the box office.
Right.
And I think that has more to do with those streaming windows, with how movie theaters act right now. You know, if I can see a movie from the comfort of my own home, a lot of times I am going to opt for that these days just because snacks are really expensive. Maybe you have a limit on when you can see a movie because of your A-list or your Regal. Honestly, the attitude of other movie theater goers is the thing that I keep grappling with personally, of going back to the movie theater. Of I'm a matinee girl, y'all already know. I'm a real old lady who doesn't want to see a movie after 8 p.m. But when I see those 7 p.m. screenings, there's usually nowadays somebody who is on their phone the whole time, people who are talking at full volume, people who are taking off their shoes and putting their feet next to my face from behind here.
God.
And I don't want to kink shame anybody, but I don't want your feet near
Some
me.
people pay good money for that.
I love that for you. Be an entrepreneur, go forth into the world.
You know,
make your money.
You may have to leave that North Hollywood Regal and get over to the Burbank
I
AMC.
genuinely
You might need to get
I
out of
seriously-
North Hollywood.
Literally-
I am thinking of leaving because I think it's also just my location. Is there's just some real out of pocket people
I
coming
had
to this movie
some weird
theater.
things happen once a year,
Yeah.
and it's like an outlier. It's like, that was weird, and everyone's like, that's weird, and then that's
Mine's
it.
constant. Well, my friends also went to Sherman Oaks recently,
And it was
and they
crazy?
had a whole bunch of issues too of people talking. And when someone did a, could you please stop? They turned around and went, oh, you're being really rude.
Wow.
You're the one talking in a movie.
Yeah.
But that, I digress. That is, I think, one of the issues right now is movies are expensive. Getting a babysitter is expensive. Getting food there is expensive. And the experience isn't what it used to be. I think the movies are still quality. I think the movie theaters are needing to find ways to either kind of draft house it and make sure people are behaving, or make us have that fun experience. I want to believe Nicole Kidman. I want to go there and have that shared experience on a silver screen with everybody.
I just want to say, like, as far as animated films, it's been a good year for the animated films that have released. Kung Fu Panda 4
Did
made a-
really well.
Even
Did
Garfield, even the Garfield movie
Yep.
quadrupled its
budget. Yep.
And now we have Inside Out 2, and then we have Despicable Me 4. Imagine if Cross the Spider-Verse or the next Spider-Verse came out this summer. How much of a killing it would make. I mean, it's just good news for people who are fans of animation, that they're all succeeding. Every release so far this year, it's great news.
And we still have Moana 2
Moana
coming.
2.
And by the way,
Now with murderers.
Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim.
I'm so excited.
And we're
What do you
hearing
consider
God.
Sonic 3?
that's a live action film.
Okay, live action. Okay.
Yeah, that is
Perfect.
clearly live action
That's
film.
what
Mufasa 2 is live action.
Mufasa is
That's
animated.
So,
animated.
yeah, we got some.
So we got a lot of animated stuff still coming.
Yep.
We want to thank a sponsor of today's episode, BetterHelp. You know, guys, it's one of the most unfortunate human tendencies that we have to try to compare our life to others. And social media plays a big part of that. Comparison is like the thief of joy, and it's easy to envy other people's lives because on the surface, it might look like they have it all together on their Instagram or YouTube, but in reality, they probably don't. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have, so you can start living your best life. Give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Campea today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Campea. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The box office continues to be on a roll as Despicable Me 4 comes out, makes $230 million worldwide in its first 5 days. What do you think that says about the franchise? What do you think it says about the state of the box office right now in general? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.